What up, boys? It is week 4. We have some teams that are 3-0. We have some teams that are 2-1. We have a couple teams that are 1-2. And we have 3 teams that are the dog garbage trash of the league. I'm bringing the excitement today for Jesse. He did not appreciate my depressed attitude. I'm bringing 7 different kinds of smoke today. It's 3 o'clock. I'm taking Friday off this week to go on a golf trip. Giving you this preview on Wednesday afternoon. First and foremost, would like to let you all know that we have a new sponsor. That is the HR business partner at Newell Brands. They make and represent the following: Ball, Rubbermaid, Mr. Coffee, Crockpot, Sharpie, Elmer's, Coleman. You may have heard of them. They make tent stuff. Contigo, Bubba, kegs. Okay. Marmo, Graco, Yankee Candle, Jostens, First Alert, Rawlings, and more. Last year, they did $15 billion. Probably not last year. They've done $15 billion in sales and have 55,000 employees. And this individual is Adam Wesley Foster, who is currently in first place of the league. He paid us a certain amount that we also gave him rights to name the exit music today. So that is going down. Thank you for your contributions, Adam. Trampus, for this point forward, we appreciate your law services, but you will not be needed. Let's get it on. Okay, let's make sweet love to this week's podcast preview video show. First place, Adam Foster, outscoring everyone by miles. What I consider to be the second best team in the league, Mighty Midgets. They're in fourth place. The third best team, Make America Gronk Again. The fourth best team is Titletown, followed by either Michael or Tyler. Jesse's team is terrible. Notice he has 225 points scored against. Last week, for those of you who are interested in 2 of the teams sitting in last place, Daniel, Ryan, and Nathan last week, had they played, would have had a total score of 62.1 to 61.3. I would have won by 8 yards. But unfortunately, we cannot all play Daniel and Ryan every week. Let's take a look at the preview, boys. I have prepped for this week's preview. You are welcome in advance. I'm going to bring it, and I'm going to bring it hard. I'm going to bring it firm, and you're going to like it. So let's get it going here. First of all, this is not something I make a living or regularly do, but I will name the lock of the week matchup. Team Suicide Watch. It will get a win this week over Nathan Sucks These Nuts. Notice the spread's very close here. I only have 1 healthy receiver on my team. I only have 2 receivers on my entire team, but I don't care. Bell. Ralph Book to the office. Just got in a fight recently. I only have 2 receivers on my team, one of whom is healthy. Devontae Parker going to get it on against New Orleans. Chris Johnson getting some tubbies. Mark Ingram, Marshawn Lynch. Love it. God, love it. When I look at Nathan Sucks These Nuts, there's one name I fear, and that is Jordy Nelson. In the great words of the great Jason Wesley Schwarzenegger Stuffle. He looks in the mirror, and he does not see a white man. Don't really love the rest of Pat's team. I took some notes here. Pat's crap team and crap matchups. Pat may have the worst team in the league, and that's no offense to you, Patrick. Lock of the week. Juice me up. Team Suicide Watch. Taking it down. Getting my first win of the year. Second matchup. Jesse. Shake and Bake. Team Shake and Bake somehow is 2-1 versus the Mighty Midgets. And they have been mighty. Shake and Bake, first of all, if you have not seen DeMarco Murray's 70-yard touchdown last week, they had 2 choices. 1, they could show it on ESPN, or 2, they could show highlights of an entire other game. It took him so long to get down the field. But Jesse got a 13-point play from DeMarco Murray, and he won the pillow fight against Team Suicide Watch. Things that I like in this matchup. I don't like Zeke to score 20 points. That is outrageous. I think Adam Brandt has the second or third best team in the league. And here's what I'm going to do. For the first time in the history of this show, I have a second lock of the week. That's Adam Brandt to trash Jesse's squad. Looking at matchups here for Adam's team, he's got Ty Montgomery on Thursday night. He's got C.J. Anderson against Oakland. He has Brandon Cooks fresh off a 2 Tubby game. Count them, 1 and 2. He's got Devontae Adams again in that game on Thursday at home in Aaron Rodgers territory. He's got Travis Kelce coming off a stinker, a real stinker. I think he had 1 catch for 9 yards, 1 catch for 1 yard. In PPR, that gets you 1.1. In our league, gets you 0.1. He's doing the double tight end tier, which I don't like, but I look at Jesse's team and I see just a pile of dog doo-doo. And Phillip Rivers, for whatever reason, Jesse is playing this week after playing him last week. For whatever reason, what I say about Phillip Rivers is never play Phillip Rivers. Matchups that I like on Jesse's team are Ezekiel Elliott and nothing else. Michael Crabtree at Denver, even if he plays, don't like that spot at all. Cardinals defense has been atrocious, 16th. They got to play the Colts 1 week. Ryan Suckup, take a look at this. Just one of the best kickers in the league. 12, 15, 16. Jesse, big fan of that kicker position. Truly, truly an advantage in this matchup, even against the great Steven Gostkowski. But what I look for here is, I'm going to go with a normal tone. This is exhausting. I like Adam Brandt in this spot for my second lock of the week. Make America great again. Gronk again. MAGA. Hashtag. Again, simply simple victory. And what I see here is a talented team with talented players. Rob Gronkowski, Leonard Fournette, Melvin Gordon. Okay. Trampus's receivers, as we've discussed, don't love them. Don't love them just because Keenan Allen gets hurt and Golden Tate isn't very good at football / just isn't consistent. But Jordan Howard, I certainly like him. And what these Thursday night games, guys, have been, they've been crazy, to be honest. I mean, they've been very, 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 very entertaining, especially last week. The 41-39. Yeah, right. If you thought there were going to be 80 points in that game scored, you're crazy. But I like Tyler's team, and I look at Tyler's team. Speaking of Tyler's team, and I don't really know. And I feel like I troll Tyler every week, but somebody's got to do it because my team's 0-3. So, scapegoat Ty, I'm going to beat your team to death savagely in analysis. I don't really know how his team consistently is scoring points because Todd Gurley's been elite. He has, I believe, 6 touchdowns already in 3 games. T.Y. Hilton had a big game last week, but, that spot at Seattle, not a friendly one. Emmanuel Sanders is just, he's the number 2 receiver on his team that doesn't throw it a lot. Kyle Rudolph had 4 yards last week. But what Tyler does have is a couple explosive players, and if he believes in that Rams offense, certainly Sammy Watkins and Todd Gurley can get the job done. But it'll be interesting. Tyler his team has truly puzzled me this year. But in this spot, just because I like Gronk, I like Fournette, and I like Melvin Gordon to consistently put up fantastic numbers. Their offense is just run through them. I like hashtag Make America Gronk again in that spot. Here's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to make a bold, bold, bold prediction. And that is that Hide Your Children gets it done and takes down Mr. Luckbox this week. This is my 3rd lock of the week. This is a virtual guarantee that this occurs. Here's what I think is going to happen. The Pittsburgh guys are going to suck. DeAndre Hopkins still has a rookie at quarterback. Michael Thomas is on the road with Drew Brees. Drew Brees sucks on the road. I think Kareem Hunt could go for 50, and Devonta Freeman's going to get his 20. But Doug Baldwin, Tubby time, 4 visits to the end zone, boys. Count them, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 per quarter. He'll have 3 in the second quarter. You can watch it. It'll happen. Baldwin, 4 touchdowns. Snead, 2 touchdowns in his return, which makes this interesting here. We kind of have that Michael Thomas, Willie Snead. If you're going to pull an upset, Michael, you need Willie Snead to outperform Michael Thomas, and in my opinion, it's got to be by at least 10 points. So this is an interesting spot, but I'm going with Michael this week. Lock of the week to knock off Mr. Luckbox. By the way, in the future, we will rank Mr. Luckbox's team. Truly 3 of the best 5 running backs in the league are running his team, and Thomas Brady is a good player. We will rank his team historically next week's episode. Thank you for sponsoring the show, Adam. You're going down this week, you sucker. Jason Stuffle, Lollipop Guild against Grayson Suman. 2 fantastic first names, 2 fantastic young men in this matchup here. I will analyze position by position. I like Russell Wilson. I just think his floor is very, very high against the Indianapolis Football Colts. who just allowed the Browns to score 4 glories last week. Matt Stafford on the road in a dome. I think that game kind of interesting. Those of you who play some DFS, kind of stackable game, and just it seems like the Lions are playing in a dome every week. At those running back spots, you got to like Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook's crazy talented. He's crazy talented, and that offense looks really good regardless who's at quarterback. Jay Ajayi in a just crazy good matchup if they happen to play that game. A lot of points going to be scored in that one there. OBJ got in the end zone twice last week and then peed on the crowd or whatever he did. Looking at the Lollipop Guild, I know he's been a little disappointed with his team's performance so far, most notably with his receivers. And A.J. Green 10 for 110 in a tubby time last week, a visit to that promised land. But the rest of his receivers just aren't really getting the job done. And if you look at it, this is a team that should really be very, very good, very formidable. But other than Zach Ertz and Matt Stafford, not a lot happening there for his team this year. And because of that, I really like Titletown to get to 3-1. And this is one of the better teams Gray's had in the last couple years after finishing first and second the first 2 seasons of the League of Legends, which was not called that back then. Here's Antonio Brown's Ding Dong, which I think is in reference to a doorbell situation against the Butt Buddies. Butt Buddies have a very, very wretchedly bad team. They have scored even fewer points than Team Suicide Squad, which is actually a pretty cool name. I should change that. Mine is something with suicide involved, but that is not the exact team name. Luke does not have a completely garbage team here. What he has is Aaron Rodgers at home. What he has is Joe Mixon going to get all the carries going forward, folks. I mean, this is the moment where Luke's team is not dog crap. He drafted Joe Mixon in like the second round, third round. It was on the whip there. Joe Mixon's getting the carries now in that Bengals offense because Andy Dalton's terrible. They're not playing for this year. They're not good. Even if they are playing for this year, they want to see what Joe Mixon can do. Mike Gillislee, is a goal line guy. Unless, Brady last week. It was a weird spot for him to go play action from the 1, by the way. I mean, it seems like Brady either hands the ball off every time at the goal line, and then the next week he'll just be really selfish and throw for 5 tubbies. I don't know what's up with that, but take a look at Luke's receivers. It's been a while since the number 1 and number 2 receivers in the league have been on the same team. And Stefan Diggs with 2 big old games. And I believe at home, if you take a look here, Stefan Diggs at home I think is averaging like 28 points a game. Yeah, it's not quite that high, but 26, basically right at 26 points a game, which he's not going to be able to keep that pace up. But looking at Luke's team here, you can just ignore Danny's team. Amari Cooper is one of the many talented players who looks good at Alabama, and then he gets in the NFL, and it's pretty obvious. It's hard to play receiver when you cannot catch the football. And that's what Amari Cooper can't do, which, it's kind of a problem. It's kind of really, really a problem. And it's a problem for Derek Carr, too. Man, that dude, he's looked bad for a large chunk of the season. Not somebody that I like as much as other people, but I like Mike Evans. I think Danny has something there. But just looking at his team, it's just not impressive at all. And I like Luke. I think not just as my brother, but this is one of his better teams. You should maybe look somewhere else with Austin Hooper. They're 16 yards in the last 2 games. Have some other notes, guys, about life this week. By the way, this is another lock of the week, as is the last matchup. Gray Suman lock of the week over Jason. That's four lock of the weeks this week. Maybe 5. I don't really remember how many I said. But, Ty, you're going to lose. That's another lock of the week. Guys, by the way, announcement. I suck at fantasy football this year. I had a phone conversation with the sponsor of the show, and he said, well, now that I'm going to be a father, again, for the second time, he said I have something else to focus on. And I said, you hold your tongue, my friend. You hold your tongue. I am still focusing on fantasy football. I will not fold on this season. What other things? YOLO. Fantasy football could be over in 20 years. Exit music selected by Adam Foster today. This is Many Men
up on the gritty streets of Jamaica,
Wish Death Upon Me.
Street kids now,
skipping it a little bit here.
It's sad I had to end this.
There we go. Adam's boy.
I'm the diamond in the dirt that ain't been found. I'm the underground king, and I ain't been crying.
Some language in this one.
Something special happen every time. I'm the greatest. Something like
50 been shot 9 times, ain't killed him yet, son.